Hi, I'm going to warn you, I was really overwhelmed when they asked me to give this presentation about time and stress management, because I am absolutely not the person in my life that I know that handles time and stress the best. I'm definitely not. So this is super overwhelming for me, because I'm like, wow, I don't know if I'm going to totally fail at this, but here we go. So a couple things about me. I guess I'll tell you a little bit about my story. I was told a lot when I was a kid that I had ADD and ADHD and dyslexia, and that I was stupid, and I just thought differently. Like, I just could see things differently, and I understood things differently, and sometimes I didn't understand when people were talking to me why they were talking about the things that they were talking about. Now, 30 years later, we call that autism, but or autistic spectrum, but that wasn't what they called it when I was going to school. And I'm not that old, I'm in my 30s, so some of your parents, kids in here, were probably told things like that, like how I was told about their attention or their ability to learn, and so that stuff might have gotten passed on to you, and maybe people tell you that. So I just wanted to very first tell you that lots of people told me I was stupid, and obviously I'm not stupid, so you're not stupid either. The second thing that I want to share is that I landed in Colorado Springs in 2009, and I came here out of a domestic violence situation. The man that I was married to was in the military, and we were married for 6 years, and I went to the hospital 80 times. So in 6 years, I was in the hospital on the average 15 times a year. And I had lots of things happen to me. I had both my sides of my collarbone broken, both my arms broken, both my legs were broken at one point. I have a traumatic brain injury. So lots of time that I spent in an unhealthy relationship that resulted in me having long-term effects. And I tell you this not as a victim, but as someone who was able to overcome all of these obstacles and build businesses and friendships and relationships, and my kids are thriving, so you can get on the other side of it no matter what you're dealing with, and that's one of the most significant things about my life that I'm able to share. I have 2 kids. One is 14, and he goes to a military boarding school. It's his choice. He wants to be a flight surgeon, so he asked me to help him, and I have no idea how he got that to be that smart, but he's a very bright kid. And this is his brother Damien. Damien is 12. He goes to school in Denver, in a Catholic school, and Damien likes robotics. So both my kids are special, as I'm sure everybody's kids in here are special too. So that's a little bit about my story. Professionally, you see some stuff on the table about Colorado Lending Source. That is one of my current employers, and Colorado Lending Source, their little push here is that they support people who have ideas and small businesses and want to create something new for their family. So if you watch Shark Tank and you really like the idea of having this, something that you want to build, or some service that you want to perfect, or something that you want to do differently, we help entrepreneurs and businesses to do that. So our loan programs stem from $5,000 all the way up. We're one of the only companies in the state, or nonprofits in the state, that offer microloans at under 10% for startups and small businesses. So anyway, that's Colorado Lending Source little push. I also own my own business, and like Catherine said, I kind of wear lots of hats. My favorite project right now is a childcare app. So like I shared with you, I came here and I had nothing. I lived in a domestic violence shelter for 4 months, and then we moved to a 1-bedroom apartment, and we got kicked out because I couldn't pay the $390 rent. So then we went back into the van and lived in the van for 6 more months before I was able to get back into an apartment. So we had this very up and down period, but during that time I was on child care assistance, the CCAP program, And when I got a job making $15 an hour, they kicked me off the program. And, you know, they probably should have, but I wasn't prepared for that. So I brought my kids to work with me and hid them under my desk for 9 months until I could afford childcare. I would pay students $10 or $15 to walk around the school with them or take them into a classroom and play with them. I'm really lucky that nothing bad happened to my kids. And there's probably people in this room that have the same kind of issue where if your kid gets sick, you have no childcare, and you may have lost a job. I lost a few. So this app works as a way to pay your childcare costs. Basically, the user will put in information about childcare opportunities in their area, either providers or businesses, and then we pay them for putting those records in the database. We also pay you to check into those database entries, see how many times those providers are getting check-ins. We pay you to leave reviews, and then we also allow you to kind of customize their profile for premium membership. So anytime that anybody that you enter into the database turns over and becomes a premium member, you get paid. And then you can pay your childcare costs with that. So that came out of me not knowing what to do with my own childcare, and it's just a solution that, you know, again, people told me that I was crazy and that I had no way to think this way and it wasn't going to work. So I keep doing the things that I'm doing and I don't listen to those people. Okay, so that's enough about me. Now I guess I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're going to do, because I know a few of you have asked about some of the stuff that's on the table. So the first one, I mean, a couple people are still eating, but I don't care. You're still going to do this. So just kidding. You don't have to do it if you're eating. But sorry, Catherine. I hope I didn't break that. So has anybody ever done anything with marshmallows and spaghetti in a team building exercise? Raise your hand. Don't ruin it, just raise your hand. So what we're going to do is each table is going to compete to build the tallest tower. You can use as many marshmallows or spaghetti sticks as you'd like. You can break them, you can wet them with your saliva. Don't share that with other people. You can do whatever you want. You have to work together. And you have, I'm going to be generous because we have kids and parents working together. Typically it's 10 minutes, but I'm going to give you guys 15 minutes. So you have 15 minutes to build your tower, and then whoever has an upright tower, it's got to be upright, can't be on the ground just because it's the longest one on the ground, that doesn't count. So upright tower wins, and yeah, let's see what you guys got. So go. Set an alarm for 15 minutes. Oh, I hope I didn't break this. Are these sugar cookies? Please say yes.
Yes. I'm like 95.
As I just put it in my mouth.
too much spaghetti.
I'm underwhelmed by that. You can have it. Can I take your picture as you're geniusly putting things together?
Like that, and you can have that balance with that side. So over marshmallow in. Like right here. Oh, I see. Spaghetti like this? No, like here. Like this. Make your base strong, like here in between, and then you go here, and then you put the one stick here. So smart.
That's smart. They use half the marshmallow. That's smart. I feel like he's an engineer in real life. Is that what he does?
No, but he's got that brain.
I feel like that's exactly what's going on right now.
I don't think this one's gonna work.
That's pretty impressive, though.
Here, put this one right here. Make it a no. I've never bring these ones around. We were gonna bring these one over here.
It's pretty cool.
You're doing a great job. I'm a cheerleader. Girl power. Good job.
Do you want one in the middle?
Okay, I'm trying to think of something.
I don't know. You guys got some stiff competition over here. You guys are the only ones that have an inner layer.
I think we might have enough spaghetti. I don't think we have enough. Do you want to have that? Really? We can use more packs. Yeah?
Pretty impressive. You see the guys in the back there?
I know. Trying to get everybody.
Yeah, he's gonna take everybody down with that.
Shot. I really want. It's not happening.
Yours looks pretty.
It looks cool, but it's not.
Oh,
Look, we've got everybody except for you and Rebecca over there.
I told him he wasn't allowed to interfere, so that's my fault. Yes.
Well, then you could just smile and wave.
Smile and wave. That's right. Homecoming king. I meant to say king.
Wait, how much time do you have left?
That's a good question.
You have like 10 minutes.
You have, yep. You have about 7 minutes, really, about 7 minutes.
What is this?
I don't know.
How big is everything else? We don't know.
You got some competition over there. But remember, it's got to stay up. Can't just get it up. Got to stay up. No, can't cheat. No cheating. No cheating. And I mean, you got these guys over here that have a pretty good structure going on, I
See
mean.
if that one was in the bottom too.
Yep. Yeah, so you broke the marshmallows in half. Okay. You got separated out? I wish I knew.
A bathroom break after.
How much time left on the timer?
Oh wow, we've got a lot of.
Yeah, but we don't have a lot of marshmallows. Did someone eat all our marshmallows?
I agree.
When is the next alarm set for?
It takes time to pull up. No, if you wanted me to cut it, I would cut it. We still have some. Like, we do like half
When is the next alarm set for?
Try not to shake the table. Oh, they're looking for Wally. Wally over there.
Huh?
Making Wally.
All right, here's your 4-minute warning.
After this, we need to make a structural
Don't jinx it. Oh.
Nobody look over here.
They're doing pretty good. You guys got stiff competition. Okay.
one right here too.
We could use these small ones.
No.
I think this is slightly unfair because of how many take building exercises we've been through.
Are you doing the CrossFit?
Three minutes?
Almost 2 minutes. I don't want to stress him out, so I'm not going to say anything until there's 1 minute left. No, I'm going
Gotta
to
start stacking.
not say anything until there's 1 minute
1
left.
minute left.
No, not yet. You have 2 minutes left now.
Like a triangle? I got half.
And then a spider.
Hey, you guys, if you can secure this, you really have a good shot. 90 seconds. 90 seconds.
This is I've watched Sugar Rush on Netflix.
I feel like
He's got to keep holding it up.
this is a nailed it
We have
version.
another half right here. Oh, let's go!
He's got to keep holding it up.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely nailed it.
Oh my
No
God.
one shake the table.
Okay, we're ready! Is it called? Are you? How many seconds do we
1
have?
minute. Wait, less than a minute. Less than a minute. You gotta keep it up though.
He's got to hold it up for the judges.
I don't know if it's
20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands off. Hands off. Oh. Hands off. Timer's up, y'all. Timer's up. Oh. That was so close. Oh, that was fun. That was very fun. Yay! Yay, congratulations. That's a good one. You got a good picture of them, right? I feel like they gotta get a prize. You gotta figure out a prize for them.
What's the prize?
I don't know yet. I gotta figure it out. All right, good job, guys. That was fun. And a solid A for effort for everybody. Really, very good. Well, you won. You won. Yes. Table one's the winner. Yes. Very close. Very close.
Where's Catherine and her camera?
She took a bunch of pictures. You guys should take like a picture with it. All right, very cool. Thanks very much for participating in that activity, and I hope you had a little bit of fun. So my boss actually brought this to our team meeting, and one of the issues that we have at my workplace is that mostly everybody hates each other. So we got that going for us. So we did this team building activity, and all of our marshmallow towers were on the ground. So you guys are very impressive to be able to still keep them up. Okay, so a couple of things I want to point out about this activity. There were a couple of groups that were really intent on planning it out. How was it going to go? What could they do to make it go better? And there was a lot of time spent on the planning process. That not many of you, I mean, most of you guys just got right to work, but a couple of you were like, what do we do? How do we build the base? So just pay attention to how long does it take you to get your ideas together as a group? How do you work with people when you're faced with this idea? And do you make it more stressful because you have an expectation that you're attaching to the outcome? So I'm going to say that one more time. Do you have an expectation that you've attached to the outcome, and that's part of why your stress is rising? So just something to put in your bubble. The other one that I wanted to mention was, you had some people in the group that kind of just took over. They knew exactly how to do it, and they were able to put it together. And that kind of left some of the other members in the group like, what do I do? How do I fit in here? And so your role as a leader in the group, as a parent for your kids, there's something to be said around how do you include other people when you know what to do. You know the way out of the hole. You know the way to deal with the problem, but everybody around you doesn't know. So how do you deal with that effectively without squashing the hope? If everybody's on the Titanic and then the boat is sinking and there's nobody on the boat that's like, we're going to be okay, then everybody dies. I mean, that's a really terrible analogy, but it's true, right? I mean, really, if nobody stands up and they say, hey, I really want to be part of the solution here and I want everybody to be part of the solution, then we don't actually have a solution. So 2 points just to kind of throw in there, some deep thought-provoking stuff. Okay, so here's my wonderful PowerPoint presentation. You guys ready? I love PowerPoint so much, so much. How many people have physical ailments as a result of the amount of stress that they're under in this room? Right. I mean, at least one person from every table raised their hand. So it's pretty common that our bodies are suffering. Anyway, and then how many people in this room have people that they're related to, that they probably have something going on in their body as a result of their genetics? Right. So then we add those two things together, which is just a recipe for disaster. And considering most of us in this room are women, and we're the ones who are in charge of raising the children and then managing all the other things, you can see where there's some kind of breakdown. I personally have lost my stuff a lot of times as a result of these two things coming together. Oh, okay. So I went to this really depressing conference. You guys, it was super depressing. It was in California with all these really rich people, and all they wanted to talk about was all the terrible things in the world. God, it was so bad. And one of the things that this renowned speaker woman came up and said was that we were taught, we mothers of 50 and under, that we should let the babies cry. And when they're, they need attention, we should just let them cry it out, let them sort it out themselves. And, I don't know about you, but like as a mother, it was both like I needed a timeout, but then I also needed to, you need to learn, right? Anyway, during this conference, this very renowned woman who teaches millions of people said that that actually causes trauma, brain trauma, to let babies cry it out. Man, I lost it. I was like ugly crying in front of 60 people because that's all I did. I just let my kids cry it out, man. Like, you'll be all right. But now I see the impacts of how they react to trauma and when they're left alone. And so that was really depressing to know that I had caused this long-term trauma in my kid as a result of something that I didn't know any better not to do. So I got out of this conference and I went looking for some good news somewhere about this. And I found this study that they just released in July this year. It's 2019, y'all, 2019. Not 1919, not 1980, 2019. It took us that long to figure out that there's a link between these things and that there's actually a solution around it. And there's some kind of trauma therapy that we can integrate into our society, into our schools, and that took us this year. Y'all, that's crazy. So I guess in some way I wanted to give you the same hope that I was looking for, which is if that's something that you did, or there's some aspect in your parenting or something that you're beating yourself up for about why you're this way or why things are that way or why your family dynamic is whatever, that there's actually stuff that scientifically you can do to make it better. Whatever. That was hopeful for me. How many of your employers have asked you what they can do to help you stop the cycle of your suffering? Really?
I was a parent CNA.
Okay. In all fairness, you kind of work for yourself. So that's a good thing that you're asking yourself.
Well, it's more so like my company and stuff because they see the hospitals that my son's dealing with, and I'm still parent, so they're kind of
Okay.
make sure I'm not going into burnout.
Yep. So, I mean, that's amazing. I never had an employer ask me that. Ever. And it seems like nobody else in this room ever had an employer ask them that either. So, that's the world we live in. That's the world we live in. And we can be like, it's capitalism, or it's socialism, or it's some other political construct and we're not responsible for it. But really, we're all responsible for it. Because eventually, somebody in this room is going to start a business. They're going to be really successful at it. And then they're going to hire other people. But nobody ever taught them to ask their employees, what's it going to take for you to be more productive, like in your personal life. So here's your chance. Children who are going to be super productive and awesome citizens who run businesses, and you are looking at people to hire later, or parents who hire people for your own company. So that's one of the things that we have a responsibility to start talking about, because nobody listens to you until you are loud, right? Isn't that sick? It's really sick. But if you get enough people asking the same question, it makes a difference. I'm going to give you an example. It's probably going to piss some people in this room off, so sorry. There was a young man that was shot in Colorado Springs in the back by a police officer. And then the police officer went to work. Both the police officers went to work. Back to work. And there was really no conversation about why this happened the way that it happened. Just go back to work. But then enough people got together and started asking, like, why is this happening? And what are we going to do about it? It really took all the people in that community, like the people that were on that street, the people that were involved, it took all of them saying something for there to be another investigation opened. The kid wouldn't have gotten justice if people hadn't talked about it. Now, I'm not gonna get on the whole like pedestal about whether or not he should have got shot and all that stuff. That's not this isn't the appropriate venue, and it's really not the appropriate conversation. But what is important to note is that if everybody didn't get together, nothing would have happened. So it's your responsibility as a human who deals with other humans to start asking these questions that you're like, why is it this way? You should say that. Why is it this way? Somebody else is feeling that way. So, stopping the cycle. Responsibility. You know, there's a ton of handouts and places that you can go and people and communities that will help you when you're dealing with this stuff. But these are the communities that made a difference for me. So I want to share about them. When I had nothing and I lived in the van and I really wanted to get a job, I really had nothing. Like my kid, this one, didn't have matching shoes. I mean, so I went to the domestic violence shelter, Tessa, and they introduced me to the Women's Resource Center, which is here in Colorado Springs. They had a program, Dress for Success. They still have it. So if you need any clothing to go for a better job, a better interview, a different situation, or whatever, Dress for Success will give you 3 outfits for professional wear that you can wear in these circumstances. I got my first job because of a Dress for Success puke green suit. It was the ugliest thing I have ever worn in my life, but I got the job. I couldn't afford to pay my electric bill, so I was on the LEAP assistance program. That was a hard time. It's hard when your lights get shut off and you have no energy and like it's cold and nobody will pick up your call. It's rough, man. So LEAP really negotiated on my behalf to get my bills down, and I really acknowledge them for that. And then both of my boys had big brothers. So if your kids don't have a big brother, then please, look at that program, or big sister. I'm now a big sister because I saw the difference in my kids' lives, so I wanted to be like that third voice. So it's an awesome network. Some of the things that these people have done for my kids, one of Damien's big brother introduced him to his whole Toastmasters group of engineers, because Damien wants to be a robotics engineer. He has taken him to different robotics style and you know, different conversations about robotics and trying different things and computer things. And that all comes from them sharing the same interest. So really recommend these particular programs, and they're all free. Oh no. I gotta find something. It's really funny. It's worth it. So just give me a minute. Plus you're sick of hearing my voice anyway. I'm so disappointed. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, sorry, I messed up. So actually, this is just like you can tell how much I hate PowerPoint. But, okay, so how can you deal with stress? How do you deal with stress right now? Anybody? Shout it out.
Exercise.
Exercise, yes. I don't even have that one up there. How else do you deal with stress?
Self-care.
Yeah, tell me about self-care.
So it's like whatever your heart's happy. So if that's like reading a book or taking half an hour to Facebook a minute or whatever, like taking the time for yourself, like outside of your family, and sometimes you have to force people out. You're like, I need like 30 minutes. So like self-care, that means different for everyone. Like exercise is one of those things, taking a walk. So doing something that you love and doing it for yourself and taking that time, I think that's really important.
Yes, ma'am.
When I was a kid, I used to look at this commercial, cow gun, take me away. So that's one of my ways that I would help myself. My kids are smaller, now I have a 6-year-old, but I pamper myself, fill that tub up with bubble bath, get in there and just sit.
Yeah, I do those too. Anybody else?
Talking to other people, and for me, praying,
Yeah.
having everything to up there to God.
Yeah.
And trusting.
Yeah.
That's what most of the time my stress is like that. Will talk to my friends over the phone or face to face. Get involved in their life to take my stress away, and then mostly pray.
There's a scientific explanation for what talking does to our brains when we're under stress. And there are specific therapies that work in conjunction with that. So one of them is dialectic behavioral therapy, which is a way of talking through whatever you're dealing with. I see some of you shaking your head. It's usually used for people who have some hormone imbalances that affect their communication, or personality disorders, or anything else that might trigger issues with communication. But the way that dialectic behavioral therapy works is that it's like little modules. Sounds like you guys are going through this right now, right? And you take the specific thing that you're working on and you answer 10 questions. And the 10 questions all stem from, where did this start from? Why is it popping up right now? What can you do about this in the future? I mean, it sounds really trivial, right? But like when you're in a not so nice place, it's really hard to answer some of these questions. But it just gets your mind back to talking through it. So not writing. I know there's some introverts in this room that are like, I'll just write it out. No. Talking through it, because your brain does something when you connect and answer these particular core questions. So, not a therapist, but have been through a lot of it, so there's my share of $100 an hour kit. Does anybody plan? Is anybody a planner? Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Right? This is my passion planner. I love my passion planner. If you want a passion planner, I can help you get one. But I use my passion planner to draw out my roadmap. What do I want to accomplish? Why do I want to accomplish it? And then each month, I map out what does it take for me to reach some of those goals. And my passion planner walks me through step by step because I'm simple. And I need somebody to hold my hand when I do my goals because I don't achieve them unless somebody helps me. So I really like it, and you can do it with a regular notebook, so you don't have to buy a passion planner. But okay, I have really something really funny. So this is the last section before the really funny thing. So does anybody do any family stuff? Like you do family game nights, family stress relief night? What does a family stress relief night look like? Puzzles, yeah. How many people play Monopoly as a stress reliever? You're sick. You're sick, people. You're sick. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
My kids like to do, like, kind of like the cook-off challenge.
Oh, the cook-off challenge.
They bake something or cook something, and then I'm the judge.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So almost like a Chopped kind of thing. Okay, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Anybody else have any cool family idea nights, family night stuff? What do you guys do with your families?
What, violent horror movies?
Violent horror movies, okay. I mean, whatever works for your bonding moments. Yeah, that's true. If I let them, they would just stay up all night watching zombie stuff, so. All right, so I am terrible with this. This is like, I never do this. I never have family game nights, ever. I'm really bad at this. But when I went Googling, this is what I came up with. And the one thing that I will say that I do consistently is I have conversations with my kids. And I don't talk to them like they're babies. I talk to them like they're humans. And I tell them the truth about what's going on in our lives, so that they can understand that that's what I'm dealing with. And there are really mixed conversations about this, so I really don't want to go into anybody's, space where somebody else that is professional or a police officer or some other aspect and told you, no, don't tell your kids these things. Like, I don't cross the line, right? But my kids know that their dads aren't involved. Like, they know that their dads don't pay any child support. They know that, mommy's working 4 jobs. Like, they know that stuff. Like, I don't lie about that. And I also don't promise them stuff that I can't fulfill upon often. But, it's hard. I got to communicate that to them. And sometimes I really don't want to tell them, because it's a disappointment to me. And I know then it's going to be a disappointment to them. But going back to that whole, social change, how are you going to make things different? I really can't make it different if I don't have the conversations that my mom didn't have with me. I'm going to give you one more example, and then I promise the fun thing. I expressed myself in really unhealthy ways when I was a teenager. And I didn't have the opportunity to go to my mom and say, I'm dealing with this thing. I want this kind of attention and I'm not getting it, so help me. So instead, I wanted a certain kind of attention, so I behaved in ways that got me attention, not the positive one. And those, broke down how the rest of my life went. So, my son, my oldest son, they have cell phones. I got them cell phones because the sheriff department came to my house and they said, we had a report that your kids are riding the public bus. How do you reach them? They're on the bus. I don't need to reach them, they're fine. No, you have to reach them. You have to be able to contact them. Okay, so I got them flip phones. 4 months later, the cops came back. They said, do you know where your kids are? I said, I'll call him. Well, he didn't answer because he's 11. The cop says, well, you don't know where your kids are. That's a problem. So I got them iPhones. So now I know where they are all the time. Anyway, my oldest son, I'm going through the phone. I see stuff I shouldn't see. You're a parent in this room, you know what I'm talking about. He's 14. And my mom is there. And my mom loses it. What are you doing? Why would you do that? My kid. But no, now this is what I experienced as a teenager. So I said, hold on, stop. I'm going to deal with it. I didn't deal with it that night. I waited. And the next day, I took him for a run. And we had a conversation, a really candid conversation about what I thought that the things that he had on his screen meant for women and why I felt that way. And that I really had these experiences that made me feel like I didn't want him to go through that. Now, I didn't really talk about what he had on his screen, other than in the capacity of saying, I really don't want you to have this mindset about women. You know, a couple days later he came back and he said, can you disable that on my screen so that I can't see that stuff anymore? That's not how I would have handled it as a kid. And that's not how my mom would have handled it as a kid. And I didn't really want to do it that way, by the way. It was really hard because I wanted to scream at him. That's what my programming says. But he's never going to come to me again. Like, ever. He'll never come to me again if I scream to him. He'll do the same thing that I did. He'll crawl out the window. He'll go do all these things that he shouldn't be doing as a result of nobody is listening to me. So I don't know that it's going to work long term, but I do know that the kid asked me to put a block on his phone. And I know myself at 14, and myself at 14 wouldn't have asked for that. So that's a step in the right direction, I think, as a parent. Okay, here's the fun thing. Oh, thank you. Okay, you ready? You may have already seen this, I don't care. It's so funny, you have to watch it. Okay. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, but I'm going to turn my... Oh.
Yeah, you can put the mic by the...
I think it should work.
Three words for you. Treat yourself. Treat yourself 2011. Once a year, Donna and I spend a day treating ourselves. What do we treat ourselves to?
Oh.
Treat yourself. Fragrance. Treat yourself. Look.
Hold on. It's way funnier if you can see what they're doing. How come it won't work?
Treat yourself. Treat yourself. Fine, leather, good.
Your PowerPoint stop. It's stealing the screen from you.
Nope. I think it's mad at me.
So if you go back to the presentation and stop it.
Okay. End show.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Oh, it's hot up here. Thank you. Okay. Anybody ever seen Parks and Rec? Yes? Okay, great.
Three words for you. Treat yourself. Treat yourself 2011. Once a year, Donna and I spend a day treating ourselves. What do we treat ourselves to? Clothes. Treat yourself. Fragrance. Treat yourself. Massage. Treat yourself. Mimosa. Treat yourself. Fine leather good. Treat yourself. It's the best day of the year. The best day of the year!
I really want this dress, and I like this crystal needle, but it's expensive, and there's no use for it.
Dom Eagle, treat yourself. Velvet slippies, cashmere socks, velvet pants, cashmere turtle. I'm a cashmere velvet candy. Treat yourself.
Because it's insane.
Yeah, so anyway, most of us, probably all of us in this room can't do any of those things or all those things, but it's still funny because Because it is. I mean, that's what I think of when I think of self-care. Or when people are on Facebook or Instagram and they're like, so much self-care, hashtag self-care, hashtag, I'm in paradise. The Instagram people that, their life is perfect and they're always, posting from some amazing, beautiful place and their life is clearly not perfect, all those things. Anyway, I just thought that was funny, so thanks for indulging me. Okay, so I guess I'm not really a millennial. Has anybody ever done a silent retreat? You have a hand up. You've done a silent retreat? What was it like? Can you tell us?
I mean, I'm super sad, so I was just Australia. And I mean, I was doing a workshop there, so I mean, all very conversation, but I mean, it's just nice to alone the night and you don't have to worry about laundry or food or anything like that. Because it is a religious space, it just gives you a chance to have that religious freedom. Be prayerful and, not worry about your basic needs being taken care of.
That's cool. They kicked me out of the silent retreat after 36 hours, so I wouldn't stop talking. So, I think there are lots of ways that you can deal with stress, right? But the key is that a lot of time we don't have the time to figure out what actually works for us. Because it takes something to try all these different self-care things. And it takes something to do it when you have no money. I mean, let's just be honest. It's a lot easier to take care of yourself when you have money. So finding these creative ways to deal with stress when you don't have a structure or a financial support around that, yeah, man, that's difficult. Some of the things that, we look to, that we connect with as humans, is that that higher power, that there's something bigger. And that doesn't work for everybody. There are lots of people that just don't believe that. And that's fine, but what's the balance? Where's the balance in your own personal philosophy so that when you get to the point where you're boiling over and the stress monster is going to eat your face alive, what do you do? Does anybody have something that just instantly calms them down? I personally don't, so I'm asking legitimately. I have to do a lot of things to get calm. It takes me, when I get really upset, if somebody flips me off when I'm driving, I'm not joking. It literally takes me 3 hours to calm down from that. And when I was younger, I did things I'm not proud of, including follow people, because I really didn't like getting flipped off or not, whatever, that disrespect. Just, man, it takes me a time to get down from that. His brother broke the window. The next day, I'm still yelling at them about the window. I'm not the kind of person that it just goes that again, referring back to, I don't know why they asked me to give this presentation, because I am not the one who's and everyone breathe. We're going to do a breathing exercise. You ready? I actually said that to him in the car. I'm like, should we do a breathing exercise? I was like, nah. Nah. So that ain't me. So I'm really legitimately asking, does anybody in this room have the components or the chemistry that you just, that, you can just turn it up like that? Really? Tell me.
If I just blast music, usually music I can't listen to around with kids. You know what I mean? From the old days, the person I was before I had kids, I just am y'all gotta go play for a little bit.
Yep.
I just blast it, and I can clean while I'm doing that, I can draw while I'm doing that. I can go to sleep while I'm doing that, and I just feel better.
Yep. I got some 5-finger death punch on my all day. Yes, Miss Catherine.
So I learned this technique, it's called chasing the rabbit.
And so I pretty much like take the situation I'm in and I blow it up 10,000 times. I blow it up to like the most extreme thing that it could be. And I like literally get to a point where I'm chasing the worst idea, and then I kind of come back around and I'm like, okay, but that's not really what it is. So compared to the situation I've blown it up to be, what I am, what's happening right now, like, do I really need to be upset about it? Probably not. So I would just check myself.
Okay, that's fair. That would give me more anxiety, to be honest with you, because I'd be like, oh my God, the sky is falling. There are zombies that are going to wake me up in my sleep. That's the worst situation for me. I've been watching too much Walking Dead. Yes, sir, in the back. Did you have your hand up? Oh, sorry, my bad.
I just different. I just figure everything's going to work out eventually, and so I don't let anything stress me out.
Has it ever been that it didn't work out? No. Okay.
Really, I mean, there's the things that didn't go maybe how I wanted it to, but it still worked out. And
To him, it's not going to work.
Well, because you don't have an attachment to the outcome. So this was my, yeah, right.
I think thoughts
Don't.
are powerful, and that's a thing, right? That's a thing, like thoughts are powerful. If you're not like, it has to be this way to be right, it has to be this way to be okay. If you do go with the flow, you don't tend to carry that kind of stress. That said, like I lived my full adult life that way until I went through a trauma 3 years ago, and in the trauma response, I have lost that, and I've been trying to get it back. But it is really interesting because I used to be that person who was like, oh, you ran over my dog? It was a good night. It must have been its time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just had like a really chill personality, and now I'm just a lot more high strung, and things just stress me out. How am I going to fix that? I don't, you know what I mean?
Is it kids, you think, that did that?
It wasn't. It was an event that happened.
Oh, it was a trauma event.
It was a trauma that it's not wrapped up.
Yeah, yeah.
It's ongoing. And so I lost that, and I remembered that. And my sister used to be like, I used to say, no, the universe has got my back. It'll work out. Divorce, it'll work out. Everything will work out. And it really did until this one thing happened, and I stopped trusting. And then it was like, I feel all this anxiety and stress and stuff. But I do think that up to that point, I dealt with crappy things. It just didn't affect me like it does after experiencing and living in this other reality.
Can I ask a probing question in front of all these people?
Sure.
You don't have to answer it. What would it take for you to have some of that back?
I feel like it's coming back. It would help if it were over with. It would be hard for you to heal from an abusive relationship if you're still in it. And for me, I'm still in it. I'm in a legal battle that sucks my money, that sucks my time, that prevents me from doing the job the way I did do it. That has emotional ramifications, you know what I mean? So one of the things is you can't heal from an abuser if you're not out of that relationship.
Do you feel like you're re-traumatized every time you have to have an interaction with this individual or this situation?
Yep. My friends say yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, but what do you say? I mean, and by the way, no disrespect, because I get that you see it.
Yeah.
But I want to know what she sees.
Oh no, I totally, any day that I have to have conversations with my attorneys about going to the next level or anything like that is a grouchy day. And there's days I just tell the kids like, free for all dinner, mom's going to the gym, I'll see you later, because I will yell at you and you don't deserve it. It's just that you're here, right?
Right.
And I want to scream at somebody.
Right.
So I just leave and I'm not screaming at them. That said, I have, I do go to counseling and I made a lot of progress.
Yep.
A ton of progress as a friend compared to like 2 or 3 years ago. But I just want that back.
Yep.
I want that back.
Yep, I got it.
So.
And I mean, I think to some of us, like, in reality, I know now, I mean, look, this is 2019, it's 10 years I've been here. I'm never gonna get that back. That's me, right? But I'm telling you right now, I know 10 years, I'm never gonna get to the point where I was pre-trauma. It's just never gonna happen. You can't, you ever see that, come on, y'all are on social media, you've been on social media for a while, okay, so don't play like you haven't seen this, but there's a little picture of a broken plate, and then it says, in Japanese culture, Japanese people fill things with gold that are broken so they are more beautiful after, come on, you've all seen this. You haven't seen it?
I've seen it.
I feel like I need to Google this meme. Legitimately, I will be serious then. If you break something in Japanese culture, in previous Japanese culture, at least according to this meme, so, don't judge me by what I do or do not know about Japanese culture, that they would put the pieces back together with gold. And then that plate or cup or porcelain thing was now worth more as a broken piece than it was originally as an unbroken piece. You can take it however you want, but.
And I think there's plenty of people that live that. There are people who have been in prison for decades and they did not lose their that. Even there are people who have been through a lot. I wouldn't say that it's not possible. And like I said, that's my goal.
No,
Yeah.
I know it's possible for lots of people. I'm really lucky to participate in this nonprofit called the Prison Entrepreneur Program. And what they do is they have an accelerator. You guys know, a Shark Tank style accelerator for potential entrepreneurs who are in prison. Look, man, I have worked with some really smart people. These are guys that have built drug empires. Like, they had hundreds of people working for them. They know how to handle accounting to millions and millions. Like, they know how to run a business, just haven't had the experience of running a legitimate business. But that doesn't mean that they're any less of a skilled business owner. So anyway, I mean, I definitely see value in that. And I know that people like that exist. I'm just saying, personally, I had to do some soul searching, and I had to admit to myself that I'm never going to be pre-trauma Aley. I'm just not. I can be post-trauma Aley who can deal with my stuff in a healthy and effective way, who doesn't chase people in cars or flip trailers over or any other setting fire to trash cans that don't belong to me. Those things all happened. I don't do that anymore.
That's huge.
Again, it is huge. I know, it's exciting. You didn't know what you were signing up for when you had me at the front, did you? Anyway, you had your hand up, sir. Yes, sir.
I think for me, I just have got to a point, because when I was younger, especially before high school, I did that too. But I got to a point where I realized, like, getting mad, stressing out, it doesn't change the outcome. And because it doesn't change the outcome, it doesn't solve anything. I guess you could say, train myself to not get mad or to not stress out about it. Which, I mean, I know not everybody can do that. That's just what I do.
So, did you start doing that when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Was there some event in your life that happened that you had to then like cope with it? It was like a big event, and you 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and you're like, I'm gonna talk myself through this. I'm not gonna get stuck.
I remember him telling me that his dad's a great guy, and he just would yell a lot.
Right.
I just remember him telling him about married. He was just determined he wasn't gonna be that way. He just determined he wasn't gonna be that way. Like, that's not easy for everyone, but that's what he told me. Like, I'm just not gonna be that way, and I don't want myself to be that way. Like, there literally has been even one time in 7 years of marriage that he even remotely, like, got upset at me. Literally.
Wow, that's impressive. Hats off, sir.
But I think it does become a mentality.
Yeah, it's a choice.
I mean, you have to focus.
Yeah.
I'm going to discipline myself to not allow myself
Right.
to get upset or
Right.
even stress out.
Yeah. It absolutely is a skill set. Like 100% it's a skill set. You have to teach yourself how to do that. You have to teach yourself how to pay attention. Like, as ridiculous as that sounds, we don't really teach our kids now how to pay attention. We kind of stick a screen. Hi, look at my kid with the screen. Screen in his hand, okay? We stick a screen in their hand and we're like, pay attention. You know, so it's a skill. You have to teach yourself how to do that stuff. You should put the phone down because I embarrassed you on purpose. Okay, so I shared a little bit about my planning, but I think that there's some level of a structure that you have to build in your life legitimately for success. And I say that as like, if you are just like, things are just gonna work out, no offense, but you can't they're just not all gonna work out. They're not. But if you have a structure for how to deal with them, right, then there's something to look for. So does anybody have a planning structure that's not a paper structure, that's not anything that they do that they would like to talk about or not do? Yes, ma'am.
I think one thing that I do that helps me de-stress is I look at everything and I try and make a mental map of like what's the top priority, what's coming up like the soonest, what's later, and so I put that later stuff on the back burner and kind of like not put it like where it's gone, but put it to the side so it's not all loony.
Yeah.
You know, when I make that mental picture, it helps me see the path.
Yeah.
And then I follow that path and it helps me be less stressed out. And it helps me kind of compartmentalize what I need to focus on and what I can focus on a little bit later.
Yep. I have another activity for you. This is a short one and you don't actually have to do it here, but I wanted to give this to you because somebody gave it to me about 6 months ago and it's really helped me. So on your tables, I drew out like a little form. And the form has 4 boxes. So, and you all have paper and there are pens back here. Oh, everybody has a pen? Okay. So if you don't have a pen, please grab a pen. So I'll give you a couple seconds. There should be enough paper on each table for each person to have a piece of paper, but if there's not, please let me know and I'll send my little minion to hand out more paper and pens. Okay. Straight? Good? Wonderful. So this contraption 4-box structure is just a quick way for you to maybe recenter yourself. So 4 F's. The frame of your life is, what is the structure of your life? What are the things in your life structurally that are working? So I'm going to say that again. The frame is the structure of your life. What are the things that structurally work in your life? That's like, my husband picks up the kids from soccer every Tuesday, so I can have 1 hour to myself. That is, I get takeout on Thursdays every single Thursday, and I know for sure I'm not going to spend 2 hours on my feet cooking dinner. That is, you know, I have a half day on Friday. That's how my schedule's worked out, and I get a half day to not have my kids all day. Or whatever other structure that you might have in your life that you feel like is working. If you have no structures in your life that are working, you should probably write a few things in here that would make a difference. If that's a neighbor that picks up your kid from school once a week, if a neighbor that you trust, that you know is going to pick up your kids, that you have communicated to the school that they're going to pick up your kids, all these things, right? But some aspects of structure that you can work on. Don't put more than 5 things in this box. It's not going to help you. It's going to stress you out because you're going to look at it and be like, this to-do list is too long. Google that stuff. Any to-do list longer than 5 items doesn't get completed. Doesn't get completed. On average, doesn't get completed. I have this friend who's got this running to-do list. It ticks me off every time she takes a screenshot of it because she's so weird. Nobody does that. Nobody has this long. They just don't do it. But if you have 5 things on your list that you know you're going to get done, it makes it a lot more manageable. Okay, fortitude. Fortitude is the things that keep you going. Fortitude is what reinforces your wall. When the crap hits the fan, how are you sheltered from it? So in the fortitude box, you're going to write, again, the things that you have that strengthen you, that work to build you up and keep your wall strong. And if you don't have anything, again, you should probably put something in there. Family, this is more directed at people. It's like, what are the relationships that you want to work on inside your family? I go a little step further because I have a long list of family members I don't really like, and I have to put them in order of which I can actually deal with them, which is hard because I want to put them all at 5, but somebody's got to be 1. So I suggest you do the same thing. Start with the easiest person in your family. If you're like me, none of them are easy. They're all hard. Maybe not. And then the future one I think is the most fun. And if you're a creative, or if you're somebody who's like got big dreams, this is usually the easiest one to do. But if you're more introverted and you're not necessarily looking at how big you want your life to be, this can be the hardest box. Because you just don't quite know what to put here. So then I encourage you to kind of look at it like, what do the other 3 boxes look like? This should be the last one you do, because when you look at these 3 things and you say, there's some people in my family that I want to work on having a better relationship with. There's some things that I need structurally to make my life work. Maybe a new job, maybe somebody who takes me seriously when I'm talking about this traumatic incident that I'm dealing with. And then the aspects that you're like either missing or you're really working on in making yourself stronger, that's going to make your future box so much easier to do. Because now you know what you're grappling with. So personally, I think going in this order, where frame, fortitude, family, and then future, it really helps. And it's simple. You can do it on a piece of scrap paper. You can do it in 5 minutes. It's just a recentering exercise. So like I said, I wanted to give you something that you could take away. And although marshmallows and spaghetti are awesome, don't eat them. This is something that you can kind of practice with. Okay, so on that note, this is a list of places and stuff for Colorado Springs, specific to Colorado Springs. I no longer live in Colorado Springs, but I'm running this project called the Denver Mental Health Project, and my point of this is that I got sick and tired of school shootings. The STEM school is actually a mile away from my house. So when that whole thing happened, I couldn't leave my apartment for 7 hours. There were cops and stuff everywhere, and it was crazy. And I don't know, Damien has, I'm gonna call Damien out. Damien struggled with like self-confidence a lot. He struggles with self-confidence a lot. And Dominic, my other son, doesn't really struggle with confidence. He can walk around naked and just be fine. Nudist colony at 14 years old, right? But Damien's not that confident. Damien needs more support. And so I went looking for a doctor, a therapist, after this school shooting to support him. And the Colorado Children's Hospital had a 9-month waiting list. 9 months. 9 months. Like, kids literally just shop each other a mile away, and you're telling me that I have to wait 9 months to put my kid in a therapy program? That's cray. So anyway, I started this Denver Mental Health Project. The ones that I have up here, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the Peak View Behavioral Health, and the Springs of Life and Safe Passage, those are the 4 that give the most response. I'm saying, as somebody who's been calling these people, they will pick up the phone, they will help you find what you need, they will help you find a doctor, they will help you with a waiting list issue, they will help you find a caseworker. These 4 I highly recommend, because I called them in the last 3 months and they have gone above and beyond to make sure that the people on this list have access. So that, I want to draw attention to a couple of other things. You think that you should be able to go to the Colorado State website and find licensed therapists. You think that the government should keep track of who they're giving licenses to and then tell you who has a license, right? Nah, that ain't the way it works. Nope. You have to opt as a behavioral mental health provider into having your information listed with the government. Our government, your taxes, pay them. They have to opt into it. So you don't get to see every provider's information. Now, in all fairness, I do want to say that our new governor has made it his own personal vendetta to deal with mental health, and he has said this now for 9 months, but he's been dealing with this for 9 months and that aspect hasn't changed. So you can't go on the Colorado State website and find what you need to find. You can click insurance, and there are maybe 25 providers on the state website that accept insurance. Another thing that's cray. So I went looking for where you can actually find this information. It's, lo and behold, at a private network. Psychology Today. Not psychology.com, not psychologist.com, psychologytoday.com. You can click which insurance you have, if it's Medicaid, when you want to see a doctor, where the doctor's located, if the doctor's in a network. You can search all these things. It's a private network. You don't have to pay. It's free. But it's not the government. So I just want to throw that out there. Like, if you go looking for help, we think, as a society, that our government should help us this way. And sometimes they don't have the answers or they're not helping us. So it's just finding another resource. Psychology Today is the resource. Nano is a childcare network, Uber of childcare. They will send you a provider on demand that has been vetted, that is licensed, that has reviews that are 4.9 or 4.8 or higher. Just the same way as Uber. But it's $20 an hour. And I don't know about you, but I can't afford $20 an hour childcare. The great thing is that Nano has some partnerships, some corporate partnerships now. So if you're looking for a job, or you might be looking for a job, a lot of those are remote opportunities. And Nano will partner with you to create a new job for you so that you can actually be in their network, a provider in their network, or somebody that drives in their network. So it's just a really cool idea, and I wanted to share about it. They've just started working in Colorado Springs. And then the other three things that I want to mention is Forest and Flora are apps that help with concentration. I mentioned in the beginning, I've been told a lot of things about my brain, including that I'm ADD and ADHD. I really struggle to stay on track, as you noticed over the last 90 minutes. Forest plants a tree for every 20 minutes that you spend not touching your phone. A real tree, a legitimate tree. So if you all saw the Amazon burning and that hurt your heart the way it hurt my heart, you can download Forest and you can plant a tree. You can also download Flora, which is a free app, and then pay to download a tree, which is dumb. So, but same concept. You can concentrate for 20 minutes and it plants a tree. It sounds stupid, but it's actually pretty rewarding because then you have this whole forest and they're so cute and it's adorable. Asana is a project management software. It's a little bit high level, but if you have lots of projects going on where you have like multiple children, multiple jobs, multiple responsibilities, Asana is a free download that you can start to keep track of that stuff. Make it a to-do list. You can, send alerts to your kids and be like, why didn't you finish this task? Anyway, it's cool, it's free, I use it all the time. So that's it, that's my presentation. I think I'm right on time, so hey.